Huh? That'll be on the other side with the small picture running in front of you. We'll be starting in how long? They just asking if we adjust the start.
Starting and so we can even want to
You want to pick up somebody you travel?
Run. I'll see. I'll see.
Ask for questions.
Yeah, but cheer me sure. You read that.
All right, good evening, everyone. So thanks everyone for coming out this evening. It was a hectic, trying to blend us into the schedule. So we do appreciate the turnout today. My name is Avery Serju, the secretary of the Persian Castle Golf Club, as well as the junior coordinator. We also have Mr. Steve Jagroop Singh, the president, Aaron Serju, who will be assisting us with the tech. If you all don't know, the session will be streamed live on YouTube, and it will be saved for future reference if you all want to go back to it, if you all think you all missed anything at any point in time, right? We also have the presenter today, Mr. Ron Usman. So he'll be guiding you all through the presentation, and then we also have some experienced members out in the crowd there, like Mr. Rocker, Mr. Lipun, and Mr. Mamu, Angad Sanilal. You know, some experienced golfers from the Brescian Castle Golf Club, and I think their presence being here is quite valuable to the session. So the intent is just to give you all a basic introduction to the rules and etiquette for the beginners. We trying to encourage you all to come out, young golfers, beginner golfers, to join the club, start playing golf, and an important part of it first before you go out there, in addition to actually learning the sport and playing it, is the rules and the etiquette behind it, because unlike a lot of other sports where there's referees, umpires, things like that, you are, in a way, you and your marker are responsible for being honest about your score and maintaining the rules. So I'll pass it on to Ron, and he'll give you all a bit more information on the presentation. Ron and Mr. Rocker, yeah, and they will interchange accordingly.
Good evening, thank you Avery. Welcome again everyone to our golf workshop. It is something that we have put together for the last couple of weeks that is going to hopefully introduce you to golf. For those of you who haven't played golf before, or those who are playing golf, it might be a refresher course. So by show of hands, who has never played golf before?
Nope.
All right, good. So I assume the rest of us have played golf before. Did we play golf or did we play mini golf? Golf, right? Okay, very cool. So, my name is Ron, and I am going to be one of the workshop coaches today, and behind you guys is Mr. Rocker, who will be my assistant coaching us this afternoon. If you have any questions, just raise your hands and we'll be happy to answer your questions. We're going to go through this. Some of it you may know already, some of it you may not know, and some of it hopefully will be impactful on your level of interest in the game of golf. So, I'm going to move. You may have some handouts where you'll be able to follow along, take some notes, write down some stuff that you think is important, maybe a question that we can get. So what we're going to go through today are the basic rules of golf for beginners. There are thousands of rules in golf, believe it or not. There's so many rules in golf, I don't even know all of them. There's a rule for every stroke, for every play. There are rules that are applicable for different golf courses. There are rules that pertain to different types of tournaments that you're playing in golf. So there's so many different things in the rules in golf. But we're not going to do all of them today. We're just going to do the basic rules that applies to the introductory of golf. We're also going to go over some of the course etiquette. Anyone knows what etiquette means? Anyone? What does it mean?
Formality.
Formality, yeah. What else? Etiquette is really how you carry yourself while you're playing a sport. Just like any sports, there are rules, there are ways that you have to interact with your fellow sports people, sportsmen and women when you're playing a game. That's what etiquette is, having not just a good time, but playing fairly, understanding the goal of the actual game and the sport. We're also going to discuss some safety and consideration, because golf can be a very dangerous sport. If those of you know, the clubs are very heavy. They can be dangerous. So is a flying golf ball if you're not paying attention. And we'll talk a little bit about that later on this afternoon. Golf can be dangerous, just like anything else we're doing. So we're going to cover some of the things on the safety and consideration. And then lastly, we're going to go over practicing good sportsmanship. What happens at the end of golf to the next time you come back and you play. All right? So we're going to move on. Obviously, you met myself, so you guys remember my name? But I don't know who you guys are, so I'm going to start over here. What's your name?
Michael.
Michael. Isaiah. Ethan. Amari. Jivan. Who else is here in our class today? Kishwan? Kishwan. Okay. Sile? Nice to meet you. Very good. Welcome to our class. Now you guys know who I am and you know who each other is, right? So now we can all form a group and we can go and play golf. Okay. Golf is a sport, believe it or not, that can be enjoyed by anyone of any age. So, some of us started playing golf when we were younger, when we were juniors, maybe when we were teenagers, and some of us started playing golf at a later age in life. In fact, somebody right now is probably going to start to play golf today or tomorrow. Celia is going to start to play golf today or tomorrow. There you go. There you go. Very good. So I actually started playing golf when I was a junior. I think I might have been 12 years old. So that was a very long time ago. Who here is 12 years old? Anybody? Almost? Kinda. You're almost there. So you're going to start to play golf before me. Some of us, who here started playing golf when they were older? Much older. Much older. Much older. Some of these guys over here started playing golf when they were older. So the cool thing about golf is you can start at any age. You are not at a disadvantage or an advantage. It is a sport that applies to anyone at any time in their life. That's one cool thing. And for kids, it's also super fun. You get to learn and develop things called hand and eye coordination. Who knows what hand and eye coordination is? What is it? When you make contact with something you see. So when you see, so let's consider cricket. Who here has played cricket before? All right. So when you're batting and the ball comes and you hit that ball with that bat, that's called hand-eye coordination. And then when the ball comes off of the bat and you catch that ball, that's called hand-eye coordination. Golf, the ball does not move. You have to swing to hit it, and it develops your hand and eye coordination to become really, really good at that accuracy and contact with that ball. And the better you get at the accuracy and the contact, as you will learn later on, the further the shot will go and the better the shot will go. So we're going to learn about these things today. So golf originated in a country called Scotland. Who's been to Scotland before? I haven't. Do you know where Scotland is?
Europe.
It's in Europe, that is correct. So golf started in Scotland back in the 15th century, couple hundred years ago. And when golf started, it took a couple hundred years later in the 18th century for it to become formalized, meaning they finally put together some rules and they got some clubs, they designed golf courses and made it into an official sport that we now play and we call golf. Golf expanded globally, giving rise to famous tournaments and professional association. Who knows what a big golf tournament is? What is
PGA.
it? PGA is a big golf tournament.
Masters.
The Masters is another big golf tournament. European Open, there's the European Open, the British Open, the US Open, the PGA, the Masters, the Players. There's so many major golf tournaments that are played throughout the year all over the world. So it's a very, very popular sport. And right here, we have the BC Open. Thank you, Camille. That's also a major event over here annually at this particular golf course. Yeah. The longest golf hole ever, these are some fun facts. The longest golf hole ever was measured at 1,097 yards. That's pretty far. That's like from here to your house. That's how far somebody here to drive. Yeah, imagine that, huh? The average golf ball has 336 dimples. Anybody ever tried counting? How many dimples? You see these little dimples on a golf ball? There's an average of 336 on a little golf ball. Do you know why? Why, Isaiah?
So to properly service the ball, so like even if you have a good form with your swing, it wouldn't like you probably wouldn't shank it.
Very good, good answer. She said shank. We don't know about that over here. So the design of the golf ball was created based on the type of shots that you want to hit. Because you can do a number of different shots with one golf ball. So the design of this golf ball is similar to a football, a basketball, a tennis ball, a cricket ball. It was designed specifically for that sport. So somehow, after many, many years of calculations and manufacturing, they figured an average of 336 dimples was enough for a golf ball. The word golf came from the Scottish, the Dutch word, actually golf, K-O-L-F, and then eventually we adopted the word G-O-L-F, golf. A standard golf course has 18 holes. For those of you who have been on a golf course already, this particular golf course has 9 holes. Yes.
A front 9 and a back 9.
A front 9 and a back 9. That's right. So this golf course has 9 holes. It's a smaller golf course, but there are 18 tee boxes to play 18 holes, and then there are also junior tee boxes, female tee boxes, and then there are other tee boxes. We'll get to that later on. And who knows what a hole-in-one is? Yes.
What, when the ball goes inside the cup in one shot?
That's right. When the ball goes from the tee box all the way into the hole in one shot. And would you believe there is actually a guy in Trinidad and Tobago that hit a hole-in-one twice on the same day on the same golf course in St. Andrews, Mocha. Anybody here ever had a hole-in-one yet? There's still time. There's still time. I actually had a hole-in-one. So let's get into the rules, right? Like I said, golf is a wonderful sport. It's fun. Anyone at any age can play. But like any other sport, there are rules to the game. So in golf, we have things called penalties, navigating through bunkers, the landscaping of the golf course, and water penalties, right? So common penalties are stuff like when your ball goes out of bounds or it's unplayable. You don't just pick it up and put it where you want to. There's actually a rule that you have to follow to know where you pick that ball up, where it goes, and how far it goes, and then do you add a score now to your scorecard, right? So golfers use clubs, balls, tees, and specialized shoes to improve their performance during play. So clubs, we have some golf clubs over here. Camille's gonna hand me. Obviously, you've all seen what a golf ball looks like. Shoes. Why do we use special shoes for golf? Anyone knows?
Yeah. Grip?
Grip. That's right. So golf shoes, this is kind of a traditional golf shoe. And if you look here, they have some spikes on the bottom. The reason for that is when you're playing golf and you swing and you turn your body, you want to be able to stay planted in that spot so your body doesn't move or slip or slide, especially when the course is wet or it's raining. You want to have enough grip and gravity out of that. So that's why we wear special shoes for golf. And it also improves your performance. When you look at the golf course structure, we talked about the 18 holes. Every hole is different. Not every hole is going to look the same or play the same. They're different in distances, in elevation. Some of them you may have to hit up a hill. Some of them you may have to hit down a hill. Some of them you may have to hit around the corner left or right. And some of them, believe it or not, you might have to hit over some water, like a pond or a lake or a drain that might be a penalty drain. So every hole is different on an 18 or a 9-hole golf course, which makes it even more challenging for you. So the first thing on a golf course where we start is on a tee box. So if you look to your left, where you see those mushroom-looking things sitting on the grass, who knows what that is called? A tee box. And what are those things that's on the grass? Markers, right? So on the tee box you see those white markers, and that should be what color? the other one?
White and pink.
White and pink markers. That indicates where you start. So you always start on the tee box. So whether you play number 1, number 7, number 9, number 13, number 18, you always start on the tee box. And then after the tee box, the next place that you would like to end up would be either on the green or on the fairway. So you have, go ahead. So over here is your tee box, and over here is your green, and the part in between the tee box and the green is called the fairway. That's where you play most of your golf, on the fairway. And fairways, like if you look at the fairway right behind you, that fairway is going to turn left, and then it actually slopes down this way. So that's the middle of it. So you start on the tee box, then the middle part is the,
Fairway.
and then the last part is the green. What do we do on a green? Yeah,
Putt.
we putt. I knew you had it. You putt on a green. Now what club do we use on a green?
Putter.
A putter. That's right. And putters look different. Everybody's got different styles of putters, different colors, different lengths, different size, weight, everything. This is the putter, so this is what we use on the green to putt that ball into the hole. And that's the end of a hole. So we start on the tee box, fairway, green. And for every shot, you may end up using different clubs to play that one hole, which makes it very, very challenging as a sport. When you play cricket, how many clubs do you use in cricket?
One.
Well, first of all, you don't use clubs in cricket. You use a bat, and you use one bat, right? Sometimes some guys might change their bat, so some players may change the bat for a different bat. But in golf, we have many, many options. In fact, who knows how many golf clubs you can have in your golf bag?
8.
8? Higher. 14 is correct. You can only have legally up to 14 clubs in your golf bag. You can have less, but you cannot have more than 14 clubs. So you have so many options on what shot to play, depending on what shot you need to play, where your ball is. We have things called bunkers and water penalties. Who knows what a bunker is? Yeah. Right, a bunker is a sand trap. Go ahead.
Place where you might end up before after.
That's right. It's a place where you may end up before or after the green. Some golf courses, depending on the size, may have bunkers on the fairway. Anyone ever played on a golf course with bunkers on the fairway? I have.
Was this course?
This course might have a few, I think.
7.
Yeah. So a bunker is another element on the golf course that can be on a fairway, mostly around greens, that makes it more difficult for your shot. Water penalties. What's a water penalty? Go ahead.
A water penalty is when your ball goes in the water and you have to take out 1+ shot.
Right. Very good. A water penalty is when your ball goes in the water. Because obviously we can't play in the water, right? Anybody ever tried? I have a couple of times. It wasn't fun. We have a couple of times. A water penalty is another element designed on golf courses to make it more challenging and difficult, as well as fun. But it adds to the overall game in your scorecard. Roughs and course boundaries. Who knows what a rough is? Go ahead.
A very high piece of unmaintained grass, and if your ball gets stuck there, you won't be able to play it out.
Wow, that is a very good answer. It's a high piece of grass that is unmaintained, specifically unmaintained to provide additional challenges on a golf course. So on some fairways, you may see on the right or the left side of the fairway grass that is higher than the fairway. And the reason for that is that's called a rough area. You can play a ball there if you have a shot to play, but if you can't, then you have to drop your ball out for a stroke or for relief, and it's usually point of entry. Again, another challenge on a golf course to make it more fun for you. So drivers in the woods, let's talk a little bit about golf clubs. Camille's going to hand me some golf clubs, and we're going to talk a little bit about what these golf clubs are. What Camille is handing me here is called a driver. What do we use a driver for?
To drive.
You use that driver when you're playing in the tee box.
right? You use a driver on a tee box. Where else?
You could use the driver when you're also on the fairway.
When you're also on the fairway. The cool thing about golf, I mean, even though we have a lot of rules, is that you can use any club for any shot, no matter where you are, whether you're on the tee box, the fairway, or even the green. But most people use a driver, which is the biggest club and typically their longest club in their bag to tee off. So if it's a very long hole, or number one, if it's a very long hole, let's say the hole is 450 yards, most people may want to use a driver to start with because it's going to give them the advantage of distance from their first shot. So now their next shot will be a lot closer to getting on the green and in the hole. So that's what they use. Another club, so there are so many different types. You can use a driver, there's a 3-wood, there's a 5-wood, there's a hybrid. There are other clubs that look similar to driver, but the shape and the size is different. And each club, if I could just borrow the driver again real quick, sorry, thank you. Each club, if you look at the sizes of it, they're different, right? The loft of the club, meaning the angle of the face of the club, is also different. So that means, which club do you think is going to hit a further shot? This one or this one?
Driver.
This one, right? That means this one should hit another shot, but not as far as this one. And when you become really, really good at knowing your distance and how well you can strike the ball, you will know which club will be the better club for that shot to play. After those, then we have what we call irons. The middle clubs, right? Everything else in the middle, we have 2-iron, 3-iron, all the way down to an 8 or 9-iron. And then you have different types of wedges, different angles of lofts for different shots. There are different shots you can play. So an iron looks like this. This is a 7-iron in my hand, right? A 7-iron most people will use on the fairway. You can use it on a tee box, you can use it around the green, you can use it wherever you want. So this is one of the clubs that's in your bag that gives you options on different shots. And then finally, we had talked about it, was your putter, right? So your putter is also a very, very important club in your bag because this is the club that gives you the best possible accuracy for your putt on the green. Yes?
I had a question about the 2-iron, 3-9-iron. What varies in smooth and iron? Is it like the amount of actual iron in it, or the weight, or what?
Very good question. The biggest difference between the numbers of your irons, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, if you look at it, the length of the club will be different. So the higher the number, the shorter the club. The lower the number, the longer the club, as well as the loft of the club. So if I were to put my 7-iron flat next to, let's say, a 3-iron or 4-iron, the angle of the face of the club will be different. Because when you strike that ball, it's going to give you a different flight and shot. Now you can adjust the clubs based on your shot, but we're not going to get there yet. But the biggest difference is the length of the club and the angle of the face of the club. Some clubs, depending on the type of golfer you are, the weight does play a big factor as well. Scoring. That's a very, very important part. And I think we may have some scorecards that we can look at so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. So what happens when you finish a hole? Do you know what you have to do? Yeah.
You get a little card and you have to put the score out of the amount of shots that it is. Let's just say if it's the first hole and it's a par 4. Let's just say you make 5, so that's 5 out of 4 shots that you need.
That's right. So on the card that you're going to see right now that Camille is passing around, this card is for this golf course. I had it upside down. So every hole on the scorecard has a lot of valuable information. And if you take a close look on your scorecard, it'll tell you the hole that you're playing. It'll tell you the distance of the hole from the tee box, depending on the marker that you're teeing off. It'll tell you what the par of the hole is. Who knows what a par on a hole is? Go ahead.
It's a certain amount of shots you have to make the ball inside the cup.
Right. So a par on a golf course, when you get more and more into golf, you'll learn stuff like that terminology. A par is the suggested number of strokes you should have or could have for that particular hole. So for example, this hole here, number 1, which hits from this tee box, goes all the way around left and up the hill, is a par 4. So according to the way the golf course was designed for the scorecard, it says that it is recommended to make 4 shots. What happens if you make more shots than 4?
You get plus how many shots and you go over.
Right. What happens if you make less shots than 4? Go ahead.
You minus.
You minus. So if it's a par 4 and you do it in 3 shots, what will your score be here?
A birdie.
A birdie, but you also put 3. And if you make 1 more than a par, you would put 5 on your scorecard. So at the end of your hole, it is your job, or the job of your marker, if you're playing in a tournament or you're playing with someone else, to put your score on that scorecard. And it allows you to track your score for every single hole that you make. So the scorecard will tell you what hole you're on, what the suggested par is, the distance of the hole, and at the end of it, you tally your score and you put your total. And if you're playing with someone that you're scoring for, you sign as a marker and they would sign as the player. Yes, sir.
I have a lot of youths and beginners. I just wanted to make one comment on that, right? When we're playing, we should refrain from using words like birdie and bogey when we give them a score to your marker. You should call a number and not a terminology, because that should be misrepresented based on the hole you're playing. Your marker will not always be. Go ask you. So say 3, say 4, say 5, and number. Do not call a terminology. You didn't make birdie on the hole. You made 3, you made 4, you made 5. Just thought I'd share that.
Now I appreciate it. Thank you, coach. So what he's saying, yes, when we do make a birdie, when we make 1 under par, that's actually called a birdie, and if you make 1 over par, that's called a bogey. That's just golf terminology. That's golf language. But what the suggestion is, and I think it's a very good point when you're learning to play golf as a junior or as a beginner, you want to say your actual score so that the person who is recording your score understood what you got and what you said, so they can mark it accurately. So again, that's what we're looking at: recording, listing, pause, and yardage. We talked about tracking the progress of your score. Now we live in a world of modern technology. If you guys didn't know this, we now have little devices that we call phones, where there are apps where you can track your scores and your yardage and your distance and stuff like that. It's cool. But we like the old original way because it is the only way that you can qualify when you're playing in a tournament, or you're playing for your club, or if you're playing recreationally and you need to hand in your scorecard. This is what we accept. So here's some golf rules. The first rule of golf. Who wants to read that for me? You want to read that? Read the first rule of golf for me. Can you see it? This one.
I can read it.
The ball from the tee into the hole in as few strokes as possible.
That's right. So the first rule in golf is to hit that ball from the tee to the hole in as few strokes as possible. That's how we start golf. The second rule that we have is be honest. USGA rule, which is the United States Golf Association rule, which is what we follow here at Trinidad and Tobago. We also have the TT and GA. The other rule is count your strokes even if you missed. Why do you think that's a rule?
So we can honest.
Say again?
So we can have a accurate score.
That's right, so you can have an accurate score. So you have to count every single swing and stroke. Every time you strike that ball counts as a stroke. So even though the par of the hole may say 4, it says you could be able to make this in 4, but you didn't, you had 5, you have to count that extra score, that extra stroke, and mark your scorecards accurately. Ross.
What if you swing and miss?
What if you swing and miss? That's a very good question. My good friend Mr. Rock is going to explain that rule to you. What if you swing and you miss the ball, Rock?
Well, a stroke in golf is whenever you attempt to hit the ball. Whether you missed it or hit it, if your intention was to hit the ball, you're gonna stay.
Okay. So what Raka is saying, this is my ball, right? And I already lined up, I see where I'm going, I'm ready to go, and now I address my ball, and I take a swing, and I miss the ball. That is a stroke. So if I was sitting there for 1, and I took a swing, and I missed that ball, how much am I there for now? I'm there for 2. So now if I actually do make contact with this ball, and I hit it, that would be my 3rd shot. Right? So golf is a game of integrity. You have to be honest even if you miss the ball. Because if you don't, and you don't score that, then who loses? Yeah, you're basically being unfair to yourself. Because we don't have a referee. There isn't somebody with a whistle that's going to blow and give you a yellow or red card. You have to have the honest integrity to score yourself, even if you missed it. Even if it was, you're having a good day and you missed that 1. Those are the rules of golf. It's a tough rule, but it's a very, very fair rule that everybody has to abide by. Okay, but very good question, Russ. Thank you. Teeing off starts between the tee markers. So if you look over there again to your left, when you're teeing off on the tee box, you must place your ball between the markers. And you cannot go in front of the marker. You must be behind the marker at least 2 club lengths. Correct? Why do we have to tee within the marker? Anyone knows?
It would be unfair in a tournament to the other people.
It would be unfair, yeah. But that's just a starting point, right? That's your guide. You want to start there. Even if the tee box is slanted, elevated, or there's water in the tee box, that's the legal place that you have to start. Is between the markers and not in front of the markers. What happens, do you think, if you made a mistake and you teed up in front of the marker? Yeah?
You have to take a 2-stroke penalty.
You get penalized, yes. And you have to redo. That is correct. Very good. Very, very good. Fairway play, play the ball as it lies. What do we mean by play the ball as it lies?
You can't move the ball from any position that it is other than where it landed.
Right.
And you only have to take the shot where it is.
Correct. So if I hit my first shot, and my first shot ends up by a hole, or it ends up in a place that I don't think I'll make a very good shot, according to the rules of golf, you have to play your ball as it lies. If it rolls and it ends up in a divot, or if it ends up in a slope, you play it as it lies. Now, there are certain things called local rules. A local rule is a rule that may apply to the golf course that you're playing on. It may also apply to the tournament and the format that you're playing. So a local rule in a situation like this, played as it lies, you may be allowed to either lift, place, and clean your ball, meaning if your ball got stuck and there's mud on your ball, you're allowed to lift, place, and clean your ball. And to do that, you must always mark your ball. You put a T or a marker where your ball is. You can pick it up. Legally, you can pick it up. You clean it on your rag, and then you can put it back within, depending on the local rule, it could be 6 inches, it could be 12 inches of where that ball was, no closer to the flag. So if the flag is over here, and I lifted my ball, I cleaned it, I'm going to put it back. Can I put my ball closer this direction? Where can I put my ball?
In the exact same position where the marker was.
Either the exact same position, where else? I can put it behind. If I'm allowed 6 inches, I can put it behind. I can put it to the side if I'm allowed 6 inches, either to the right or to the left. So if you have an imaginary half a circle, that's the only place you can place your ball. Not in front of that circle. Very, very good.
That 6 inches is depending on the course rules.
That's depending on the local course rules or the tournament format of that day. Some tournaments have different rules depending on the weather conditions. So that rule really applies to the weather condition mostly, or the course condition. So that's why that rule will be in there. So when you're playing golf, you may see on the golf club, there'll be some rules for the course, or on your card, they may have included on your card local rules of that golf course. Okay? Next slide. Bunker and water, rule 12 and 17. Know the rules and penalty strokes when needed. Out of bounds. What is an out of bounds?
It's when your ball go into an unplayable position, like in the rough or a water shot or something.
Right. So, let's visualize. If we were teeing off here number 1 between these two markers, and we're hitting the ball to go to the green, which is all the way around the corner up the hill, if I were to hit my ball and it goes over the road by that white house there, what is that considered?
OB.
Out of bounds, or OB. So what do you think I have to do now?
Take a penalty.
You can take a penalty, or there's a rule in golf called stroke and distance, meaning you would start over from where you have to re-tee from where you started. There's another rule called point of entry, but we're not going to get into that. But that is what an out of bounds is. Out of bounds, it means that you are not on the golf course anymore. You're somewhere else.
So this area is identified.
And in an out of bound area, it will be identified by the golf course with what we call markers. A marker will be either a red stake, a white stake, a yellow stake, depending on what colors that golf course uses. And each marker indicates what that area is. Okay? So you would have to take a new ball with a 1-stroke penalty. On the green, mark your ball and don't step on other ones and somebody else's line. When you're on the green and I'm going to borrow Aaron's table real quick. Let's say this is the green and this is the flag. My ball ended up over here and Camille's ball ended up over here, right? Who has to play first? Anyone knows?
You.
Good. I play first. You know why I have to play first? Because I'm further from the hole, right? So there's a rule in golf, the person who is furthest always plays first. So how am I supposed to hit my ball without hitting Camille's ball? Yeah?
You have to put a marker and then pick up your ball.
Put a marker and pick up your ball, right? So we use markers in golf. Most people use a flat marker, right? It's as small as a 25-cent or a penny. It's a little coin. So what you're supposed to do is you go behind the ball, and what Camille is going to do is go behind, mark her ball, and then pick it up. Now allowing me to be able to putt my ball from there. Now that Camille marked the ball, where does Camille stand?
At the side.
At the side. Why? Why can't she stand over here?
Because he will get hit.
Yeah, she might get hit, she might get injured. Why else she can't stand there?
It will block your shot.
She might block my shot. So if I were to go and hit this ball from here, and Camille was standing in my way, it will obstruct my line in being able to hit this ball straight to the hole. The other reason why Camille needs to stand away, her appearance can be a distraction. So if Camille is not standing still or she's moving around, it can disturb my concentration to putt that ball. The other thing too is, if Camille was standing here and the sun was over here, guess where Camille's shadow is going to be? It's going to be in front of where I have to hit. It's going to be on my line, which is also another obstruction for me to putt that ball. So when Camille marks her ball and she picks it up, she will walk and stand somewhere to the side, away from being a distraction to me, thus allowing me to play my shot. After I play my shot and I get it in the hole, what does Camille do? Go ahead.
Camille puts back her ball by the marker and play.
She puts her ball right back by the mark. Why can't she put it over here?
Because that's cheating. And it's close by the line.
That's a very good answer. It's dishonest. That's not where her ball was. she has to put her ball right back where it was, because in the rule of golf, you mark your ball and you place your ball where it was. Can she put the ball anywhere else? No. So Camille will come and she'll place the ball right back to where the marker was, and then carefully remove the marker. And now Camille is able to go ahead and putt her ball and get her shot. Okay? So if you're following along, there are a lot of rules in golf, not just on the tee box, but there are rules on the green, there are rules with shots, there are rules with out of bounds, penalties, bunkers. There's so many different rules in golf. But as you get more and more into the practical part of golf, when you start playing and you get to a point where you're not sure, and if you're playing with someone, you ask them, hey, what is the rule here? What am I allowed to do? What can I not do? Because if you do the wrong thing, then you can get penalized, and that might end up costing you a stroke. A lost ball. What do you do when you lose your ball? Go ahead.
You put your ball back on the fairway and you take a penalty.
That's right. Do we go look for our ball?
Yes.
We do.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Because let's say two of us were playing golf, and you saw where my ball went. You said, Ron, it went a little bit to the right. We can actually go look for my ball, even though it may not be on the fairway.
You'd have 1 minute to do so.
You actually have more than 1 minute.
3 minutes.
You have 3 minutes. 3 minutes to go and look for that ball. Now, you don't really have to hit the stopwatch and say, okay, start looking now. It's not like hide and seek. You have 3 minutes to look for your ball. Why is it 3 minutes?
So, abstract like 50 hours.
Yeah, you don't want to slow down the pace of play. You don't want to obstruct anybody else. Not just who may be behind you playing. You don't want to slow down the pace of play with the group that you're playing with, and then now cause a gap with the group that's in front of you. So there's something called pace of play. So you're allowed 3 minutes. After 3 minutes you can't find your ball, then you now have to put a new ball and take a penalty and a stroke for that you have to record on your scorecard. Okay? We talked a little about understanding your local club rules. So local club rules are weather condition and course condition. So, for example, if you play golf in a different part of the world where it does not rain a lot, they may not have many local rules. You may just have to play that ball as it lies. And there are certain tournaments, they will tell you, play it as it lies. You cannot touch the ball unless the ball is in a penalty, out of bounds, or in the water, or in some type of a hazard. So the course will always instruct you on what the local rules are for that course you're playing, or for the tournament format that you're playing that day. Ensure that you're aware of these rules, and if you're not sure, ask someone who is a member of that club, or ask someone who works in the clubhouse. Teeing. We talked a little bit about teeing. Starting point of play. Do we know who this is? That's you, sir? All right, I can tell. That's a very good form you have there. Each golf hole starts on the teeing ground, marking the beginning of the hole, right? So where do we start to play?
In the tee box.
On the tee box. Teeing off protocol. Players must tee off from behind the designated markers to maintain fair play. So we talked about that. Between the markers, not in front, but you can be behind. Order of play. Players should be mindful of the order of play to ensure a smooth game. So order of play means, if you have a scorecard and it's 4 of us playing and my name is first, who tees off first? I do. And if your name is third, then you tee off third. If there's 4, then you tee off third. And we maintain the order of play until the score changes, right? As well as when you're on the fairway, if you hit your ball and my ball isn't as far as yours, even though I teed off first, I have to hit again because I am further from the hole than you are. That is order of play. Practicing good sportsmanship. Congratulate your fellow players. When you hit a good shot, what do? You want to give them a high five. You want to be like, yeah, good shot. Nice, you give them a five. Like, I like that shot. You want to encourage your fellow golfers so that you keep the momentum of the group going. You want to make sure that you're having fun. Encourage camaraderie. Who here has ever played in a team sport before? Like football or cricket or tennis or anything, right? What do you do when you win, or you score a goal, or you hit 6 runs? You congratulate them, you high five. Or if your team is fielding and you get a wicket, what do? You get together, everybody's high fiving, celebrating, you're encouraging team camaraderie. We can do that in golf as well. Even though golf can be an individual game, you can still encourage, support, and motivate your fellow golfers to make the game more enjoyable. Congratulate, promote sportsmanship, and it's also very, very essential for a healthy and competitive environment. Mistakes. Do we make mistakes in golf? Sure we do. You might swing and miss the ball. Some people might they may say that's a mistake. How do we handle mistakes in golf? Well, I think a lot of that has to do with your character and your personality, and depending on who coached you and what lessons you took. Golf is inherently unpredictable. All right, let me break that down. Golf is unpredictable. Even though in your mind you know what you want to do and how to do it, it may not turn out to be what you want to do and how you want to do it. It may just change because you might hit a really good shot and you're like, all right, nice, and then it hits a tree. And it stopped. Or you lose it, or it bumps into a penalty area, and now you want to get upset with that. Oh, what am I going to do? Well, what can we do? I mean, you just have to continue playing the game. You follow whatever rule applies to that particular shot where your ball lies. If it's in the penalty area, then you have to drop and take a stroke. If it hit the tree and you don't have any local rules, then you have to play the ball as it lies. Mistakes are going to happen in golf. Even if you're on the green and the hole is right there and you're lined up and you took a look, you're like, yeah, I can make this. That's easy. I've done this before 100 times. And then you go and you swing and you miss. And now you're like, oh, I can't believe I missed that. Handle it with grace. It's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to the other person playing with you. It's going to happen to you tomorrow. It's going to happen. We're not always going to have good shots. We're going to have some bad shots. How we handle it and how we move on from that will determine what happens next. The cool thing about golf, if you have a bad score on one hole, you can make up for that bad score on the next hole. So if you had a bad score on the first hole, you have 17 more holes to make up for that score. It's kind of like in football, coming down to 90 minutes, my team and your team withdrew 1-1. Now it goes into extra time. You still have a chance to win. You still have a chance to make a better score. Positive attitude changes everything. I always say, you know, and your parents will tell you, and they remind us sometimes, you know what, don't look at it that way. Let's think about it in a different way. Let's see what we have versus what we don't have. Let's see what we did versus what we didn't do. Having a positive attitude and mindset makes a very, very big difference in your ability to enjoy the game. Any questions on this one? Anyone? Okay. Learn from experienced players. Who here has a golf coach who ever had a golf coach before? I did. And was that golf coach experienced? Yeah. They were probably playing for a very long time. They may even be a certified coach. They may even do lessons and trainings. Learn from experienced players. Believe it or not, I've been playing golf for a very, very long time, and I still learn things about golf and different shots from experienced players. Sometimes I learn from players who don't have as much experience as I do, but I can always learn from anyone else. Different shots, or use a different club, or use a different ball, or play a different angle. So learning from experienced players will help you become a better golfer. Will help you enjoy things more. Because you may be playing golf and you didn't know that you were doing something wrong, and someone told you, hey, the rule is, and you're like, wow, I didn't know that was the rule. All this time I've been doing it wrong. Learning from experienced players will build your character and your ability to become a good golfer. Guidance and tips. Experienced players can provide guidance and tips. They may tell you, you know what, instead of hitting it this way, hit it this way instead of swinging your waist this way, turn it this way. There's so many different things in golf that you can learn only from experienced players and playing yourself. Skill enhancements. When you learn from experienced players, you become better and better. You become better and better at certain shots. When you practice more and more, and experienced players there with you, you become better and better at your golf game. And here we are. Here's our coach Rock right over here, teaching, because he's learning from an experienced player. And Rock is a very, very experienced player. He's been playing golf for a very long time, and he's very, very good at golf. And he has a lot of discipline and integrity in the game of golf. So we're very happy to have him here with us today. We're going to take a short break, a 2-minute break, for any questions before we get into golf etiquette. Who has any questions so far? On the rules, on anything, local rules, out of bounds, what the fairway, the greens, the tee box, the golf clubs. Who remembers how many dimples is on an average golf ball? 336. How many clubs are you allowed to have legally in your bag? 14. Can you have more?
No.
Can you have less?
Yes.
Okay. What else? What else we learned this morning, earlier?
What happens if you have 50?
What happens if you have 15 clubs? Anyone knows? Penalty. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
You probably get banned from the course.
Well, I don't think they'll ban you from the course. That's a bit harsh. You may get DQ. Do you know what DQ is? Disqualified. So if you're playing in a tournament and you did not realize that you have more than the allowed clubs in your bag, and somebody notices, whether it's a referee or a marshal, you can be disqualified from that tournament and not be allowed to finish the tournament.
I have a question. I think you get penalized up to 4 shots. 4 shots. You won't get it. It depends on when you discover the breach, right? If you by the second hole you discover the breach, then obviously that is 4 shots penalty.
Right.
At which point you are mandated to remove the extra club from the bag. If you don't, that is when we venture into the area of disqualification.
Gotcha. So you guys heard that
The
rule?
maximum is 4 strokes.
So you can get penalized 4 strokes, and you have to remove the club up to the first 3 holes.
What if
So I read a rule once where if you happen to notice it before, but you can't remove it, you declare it on not in play,
And you could turn it over
and
in
you
your
can
bag.
turn it over in your bag.
That's right. So if you realize you have it, but you cannot remove it at that time because you're on play, what they're saying is instead of your club being this way in your golf bag, you take it out and you put it this way.
But you have to announce it.
And you have to announce it to the person who's marking you, as well as if there's an official walking with your group, you announce it to them as well.
What if you don't?
What if you don't? Then you can get penalized, and depending on the tournament, you may get disqualified. Good question. Thank you. Anything else before we move on to golf etiquette? Everybody's doing all right? Are you guys learning stuff? Who here learned something that they didn't know before? Very good. Very good. Okay, next.
Encouraging YouTubers to ask questions.
And if we have any questions from our YouTube viewers, please send them in the comments and we'll be able to get those answered or even read aloud, and we can address that as it goes along. Thank you. And welcome to our online viewers. Thank you. We have refreshments over here if anybody's interested. So I'm going to give it 30 seconds. Anybody wants to grab a refreshment, and then we're going to get started on golf etiquette. you.
Yeah.
Not a lot. Any birdies yet? Yeah?
You
One
orientation
bird?
correct?
All right. Yeah, yeah.
And focus it on run.
Do we have any parents here who has played golf already?
Yeah, how about
Any parents play golf yet? Moms, dads, anyone play golf yet? Anyone interested in learning to play golf?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah?
I good.
Okay, well, I know you play golf.
So you know what to get in Yeah, so you're right.
How is the, is it straight?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, I'm not gonna touch it.
Just use straight, no problem.
Oh, it's me, sorry. It was me. Sorry.
Yeah, you're all good.
Are we good to go? Ready? All right. Just we just about to get started again. So before we move into the etiquette and understanding the importance of the etiquette, and who remembers what etiquette is? Yeah.
Formality of doing something.
Formality of doing something, right? So having the ability to follow the rules and guidelines and other non-rules and guidelines to the game of golf. So in golf, it's a respectful atmosphere. And what we mean by that is that you want to be friendly, you want to be courteous to your fellow golfers, to the folks who are working on the golf courses, to the folks who are maintaining the golf course. Having proper etiquette is extremely important in this game. There is a saying about golf, and I don't know if it's still an existing saying, but they had said a long, long time ago that golf was a gentleman's game.
Yeah.
A gentleman's game, but not only gentlemen play golf, right? We have juniors, we have kids, we have ladies, we have moms, we have females that play golf. So I don't really consider it a gentleman's game, but it's a game of good etiquette, where you want to at least present yourself and treat others the way you expect to be treated, even though we are playing a sport. Integrity of the game, maintaining etiquette is crucial to preserving the integrity of golf, ensuring fair play, and mutual respect amongst competitors. So fair play in golf is making sure that we write down the accurate score that you had on that hole. Fair play in golf is making sure that you don't move something that you're not supposed to move or accidentally kick your ball into a better position. That's not fair play. That's actually unfair play. And as we've seen and we know, there are penalties that can be enforced for doing certain things like that. So you want to make sure that we're always looking out for fair play, not just for ourselves, but for our fellow golfers, because we talked about camaraderie. If you and I are playing and you see me do something, but I didn't say it, the right thing and the good thing to do is you say, hey, Ron, you know what? You're not allowed to do that. That's not the rule. Maybe you didn't know. Let me teach you. Fair play is helping each other out as well, even though I may not have known, or maybe I may have done it intentionally. It is your job to correct me on that. And that is very, very important in golf. And that's one of the cool things that I like about golf is that you're playing against yourself. And if you try to do something illegal, you're only going to hurt yourself at being a good golfer. Comfort and value experience. Proper etiquette ensures that all players feel comfortable and value contributing to a positive golfing environment. on the course etiquette. So these are some of the basic principles of golf. When you go to school, do you show up anytime? Do you?
Every day.
Every day you show up anytime you want?
No, wait, no.
No.
Come to tea.
What time do we have to go to school for? In the morning?
7:30.
7:30, right? So school starts at 7:30. Can you show up anytime?
Yeah.
Not really.
But before happens.
Yeah, they have rules to get to school. In golf, there are rules for showing up on time. So, as you will learn later on, or if you didn't know already, when you make a tee time, or you book a tee time, or you make a reservation for a tee time, so let's say it's 6:21 right now, and my tee time is 6:30 on number 1. What time should I get here?
6:25.
6:25? Any other suggestions? 6:05? Any other suggestions? If I have to tee off at 6:30, 6:15. I think 6:15 is a fair enough time. So that way, if I come and I park my car, it gives me 15 minutes to get my clubs ready, and my golf cart, or get my bottle of water, or get whatever. I'm ready to be on that tee box for 6:30. Golf is a discipline game. 6:30 means 6:30. Right? You can't just show up after 6:30 and think you're going to go and play. Why can't you show up afterwards? What happens? What could happen?
You won't get to play?
You may not get to play. Why?
Uncle.
Because someone else has a reservation. Someone else has a reservation probably after you. If your reservation is at 6:30, there may be a group that has a reservation at 6:40. So you cannot tee off past your tee time, because now you're going to delay the pace of play for others. It happens, but a good etiquette is to show up at least 15 minutes before your tee time so that you're ready to start on the time of your reservation. Okay? Awareness of surroundings. Players should be aware of the surroundings to ensure safety and avoid disrupting others during their game. Why is it important to be aware of your surroundings when you're playing?
Because you have to stay focused and concentrated.
You gotta stay focused and concentrated. Let me ask a parent, why do you think we have to be aware of our surroundings when we're playing golf? Anyone knows? Take a guess.
Flying balls.
Flying balls. That's right. Remember I said you might hit a good shot, and the shot's going good, and then it hits the tree. When it hits the tree, you don't know where it's going to end up. And if there's a group in front of you, or somebody walking across or nearby, they may get hit from that ball. So you have to be aware. In golf, it's always good to be aware. 360, even before you tee off, make sure there's nobody standing behind you, because if you swing your club, you can potentially hurt that person or hit that person behind you. And I've done it before. If there's somebody over here. So be aware of your surroundings. Whenever you're playing a shot, be aware of your surroundings, because you don't control every shot, and it may end up in somebody else's way or hitting someone else. Yes?
Especially when you have a left hand very good.
Ah, very good. So one of the things that I didn't mention in golf, you can either be a right-hander
Or left-handed.
or a left-hander, right? So a left-hander, obviously the club and the blade will be on the opposite side. And left-handers will swing in a different direction. So if you're standing where a left-hander, if a right-hander plays and you're standing behind him, that's okay. But if a left-hander comes to tee up now, it may not be safe for you to stand here. You may have to relocate and stand somewhere else to not be in the way. So be aware of your surroundings. Not just when you're playing, but when others are playing, be aware of your surroundings. When you're walking from one place to another and you're crossing over a drain or a cart path or a fairway, you always look around to make sure nobody's in your way. And be considerate of others and the experience. Sometimes your buddy might not hit a good shot. Just hang on. Don't become impatient. Give them some encouragement. You know what? Keep your head down. Try again. You'll get it on the next stroke. Be aware of them and give them a little encouragement. Don't just hit your ball and walk off, because there may be other players in your group behind you that could potentially hurt you. Ooh, repairing course damage. That's a big one, right? When you look here, it's a beautiful golf course. It's well maintained, it's kept. You don't want to damage it. What happens if you damage a golf course? Well, how couldn't you damage a golf course?
When you try to get under the ball for a chip shot and you accidentally dig it out.
Right. So when you hit the shot and you lose a little bit of your hand and eye coordination, which we talked about earlier, and you misjudge where you were standing with that ball or you on a slope, and you happen to take what we call a divot when you hit under the ball and a piece of grass with dirt comes up, that means now we damaged that. We damaged the golf course. So what do we do?
You put the grass right where it had the divot and you pat it down with your shoes or your golf club.
Right. Did you guys hear what he said? So if you make a divot, if when you swing and you take a little bit of the grass and a little bit of the dirt with you and it goes flying in front of you, I wish we had a video for this. It goes flying in front of you after you hit your shot. What you're supposed to do is walk up, pick up that piece of grass with the dirt and try to place it back in that spot that it came from and pat it down with your feet or your golf club. Why do you want to do that?
So it could be considered for the other people that come in behind.
Absolutely, consider it for the others who have to play behind you. Why else? It'll regrow. Believe it or not, it will actually regrow. Some golf courses, when you go and you take a divot, there's actually a little container that they give you on your golf cart with sand. And you take the sand and you put it on that bare spot and you kind of smooth it over so that way it repairs the golf course, right? Obviously, at the end of the day, the course management and maintenance team will look at it and repair it, but every little that you can do assists, not just in maintaining the quality of the course, but also, like you said, assist in making sure that the others who are playing behind you has the same experience that you're having, right? You don't want to leave something unkept for someone else because guess what? What if that was you?
Yeah.
Remember I said, treat the golf course the way it's going to treat you, right? Mindful of the course, distractions. Oh man, let's talk about distractions. It happens, right? Somebody laughs while you're playing a shot. Somebody's cell phone rings when you're playing. Somebody yells something at you, or well, distractions happen. Golf is, as you know, a game of concentration. So if you look at who's ever seen a lawn tennis game or tennis game, or watched it on TV, right?
Badminton.
Right, badminton. They're very, very quiet. They have to be very quiet because the players on the tennis court have to concentrate. In fact, sometimes the referee in charge of the game will say things like, quiet please, quiet, shh. They will say things because you have to concentrate. When we play golf, if four of us are playing golf and we're all standing here next to each other and I'm about to hit and someone starts talking on my backswing, I might step away because you now broke my concentration. Remember, hand and eye coordination, you want to be as relaxed and in the zone to make sure you hit a good shot. Or if their cell phone rings, or if they drop something, these are all distractions. As much as it happens, you want to not let that happen by avoiding these distractions because when it's your turn, you want that same experience for yourself. While not a rule, and we talked about this earlier with my ball and Camille's ball on the putting green, it's not a rule that you can't stand directly behind. I'm being waved. Yes, I'm sorry.
Back to the initial rules is when you take the strike at the ball and in the instance where you miss, if there's a distraction and I want to take that stroke, would it be considered a penalty?
That's a very good question. So for those of you who did not hear the question, if you're addressing your ball, and this is I'm going to ask my buddy Rocker to come up here for a minute. Rock, to help me out with this. So Rock was explaining to us earlier in the first section what happens. Rock, what happens when you're ready to address your ball and you have the intention to play the shot and you go to play the shot and somebody's cell phone rings and you miss the ball, Rock? What is the rule on that?
Right, so the rule is as long as you take a swing at the ball with the intention of hitting the ball, right, it counts as a shot. If you got distracted, that's unfortunate. But it counts as a shot if your intention was to hit the ball. Right? So like you see Tiger, he'll be swinging And when you get distracted, you get the club book. I mean, the same, many people cannot do that, right? But as long as you continue with the shot with the intention of hitting it, even though you got distracted, it is a shot.
But what if we're friends, Rob?
Sorry?
So what if we're friends? What if you and I are friends and we play golf all the time together?
Right.
What happens? Do I have to take a stroke?
Yeah. Not a friend there.
And you guys know why I have to take a stroke?
Integrity.
Integrity. That's the rules of golf. Regardless if Rock is my friend, regardless if I was distracted, the same rule applies to everyone. We can't bend the rules and we can't make up a rule because we can't say, oh, you know what, I was taking, no. If you were swinging with the intent and you did miss the ball because you were unfortunately distracted, it is still a stroke. That is a very good question. Thank you for that question. Integrity is very, very important in golf. Very, very important. So as I was saying, when Camille and I were both on the green and Camille's ball was in front of mine and she marked her ball, it's not a rule that she can't stand where she wants. It's an unwritten rule in golf. It's a sportsmanship rule. It's a, hey, we got to look out for each other. I wouldn't do that to you. You do it. If you ask nicely because we have golf etiquette, hey, Camille, is it okay if you could just move a couple paces to your left because your shadow's in my line? Or is it okay if you just move this? And most golfers will oblige and they will move. Yes, Amir.
Right, so just going back to the ball marking on the green.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Camille marked her ball in the line I was intending to putt.
Right.
Now her marker is in my way. What do I do?
Well, I didn't really want to get into the
Okay.
depths of certain rules, but what he's asking is, when my ball was here and Camille's ball was here, and then she marked her ball, when she put her marker, if her marker is actually in the line that I want to putt my ball, there's actually a rule where you can ask Camille to move her marker either left or right from a point that she has marked on the golf course. So if I say, Camille, move your ball left this side 6 inches, Camille will come to her ball where the marker is, look at maybe a tree or some type of a stake, line up with that, put her club, measure 6 inches, and then move her marker. When Camille now goes to play her shot, she has to undo what she did, look back at the same point that she was lined up with, put back her club where the marker is, and then put her marker, and then she can now place her ball and putt. Very good question. But that's an unwritten rule. Just ask them, hey, listen, do you mind just moving a little bit to your left or your right? You're in my way. And they will do it. So we talked a little bit about arriving on time. I'm just going to reinforce it again. You can't just show up to school anytime you want and expect the teacher to wait for you. Same in golf. You have to follow the rules. When you have a tee time or there's a tournament, you have to be here. You have to be on time. Do you know that if you show up in a tournament late for your tee time, what could potentially happen?
You're not playing.
You're not playing, maybe. What else? What do you think could happen if you show up late to tee off? You're going to slow down the original tee time, which is not going to slow down the rest of the people who are supposed to tee off behind you. What else? Do you know you can get penalized?
Yeah.
Do you know how many strokes?
2.
2 strokes. That's right. Once you're supposed to be on the tee box, based on the schedule and your reservation in a tournament, and you do not get there in time for your tee time, and the other players are teeing off and you are still not ready, you can be enforced a 2-stroke penalty. You will be allowed to play, but now guess what? You haven't even hit a shot, and you're starting off with 2 on this hole. And I have seen it happen many, many times with many, many golfers in major tournaments. You just got to show up on time. That's all. I mean, things happen, but yes, Rob.
Can I just add something to what
Sure.
I was saying earlier, right? So that was a real interesting question that you have there, right? Because it can happen, we could be playing, maybe actually playing, and somebody could be legitimately trying to put you off, right? And yes, they put you off and you have to be stroke on the floor. But they can't just continue doing that without some kind of repercussion. You, as a call the club committee and report that there's this person distracting me repeatedly, and that person could get it point. So there is report, right?
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate that. So being on time is very, very important. We're going to move on to the next slide. And we're going to talk a little bit more on equipment and attire. So in golf, there's something we call dress code compliance. What do we mean by that?
Let's just say you're a boy, you must have like a polo shirt with a collar,
Mm-hmm.
or like a pants length up to a certain length of your body.
Right? Okay, what else about attire? I'm going to borrow you to come help me out with this section. Just walk around this way so we don't hit the cameras. So in golf, it's not a uniform sport, right? So if you're playing for a team, there's a uniform. When you're playing cricket or football, there's a uniform. In golf, we don't have uniforms unless if you're playing in a tournament and your team wants to wear matching shirts and outfits, you absolutely can do that. But in golf, we have a golf dress code attire. So for the boys or the men, we require golf collars, right? The rule has changed over the years. As long as it's a golf shirt that doesn't have a collar, it is allowed. However, keep in mind, as I mentioned earlier, certain golf clubs and courses have what we call local rules. And their local rules you have to follow. And if you don't, then they may deny you the ability to play. So we always have collars on our shirts, or we try to have collars on our shirts. You can either wear long sleeves or short sleeves, whatever color you want. We also tuck our shirts in, right? Because again, going back to how golf started, it was considered a gentleman's game, a game of well-dressed and well-mannered. It was a game of respect. Some guys play better without their shirt, without their shirt tucked in, they feel more comfortable. But again, certain clubs and certain rules and tournaments, you have to have your shirt in. And I'm a believer in having your shirt in to play golf. It's very, very good. You have the option of wearing a belt. Do you have your belt? There you go. You can either wear shorts, golf shorts, or golf long pants. And then golf shoes, obviously. You don't have your golf shoes on, but I have my golf shoes on today. Right? So that's what we mean by golf attire. Can you wear hats?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. What type of hats you can wear? Any kind of hat. Whatever protects you from either the rain, the sun, whatever matches with your outfit. You can wear a visor, you can wear a cap. I thought you had a cap. That has a cap. You can wear a bucket hat. Some people wear hats and they have like funky hairstyles on it as well. I mean, you can wear hats like that. But this is what a proper golf attire is. I'm going to ask Camille to come up for a minute and tell us a little bit about what a proper golf attire would be for a female junior or a female player.
Similarly, ladies can also wear armhole. The rules have relaxed a little bit. We can wear round neck or V-necks, but I have not really seen that too much. So similar, short sleeve, long sleeve. We are not so rigid when it comes to going inside. And again, we can wear skirts, shorts, long pants, or shoes. Yeah, same thing, hats, visors, whatever works for the ladies. A lot of us with the long hair, we sometimes adjust the hats accordingly, so we wear the visor or wear the caps that allows us to have the ponytail.
Thank you, Camille. Any questions on golf attire? Okay. Equipment condition. So equipment condition, thank you so much. You were very good. You're a good model. Equipment on golf clubs, it's really maintaining your equipment. We talked about how many clubs you're allowed to have in your bag. Maintaining your golf club is very, very important, and I'll tell you why. Why do you think it's important to maintain your golf clubs? And what do you think I mean by maintain? Yes?
So they won't get rusty and you could still get a proper swing and proper distance.
That's correct. Why else?
So in tournaments they will think you have proper etiquette and equipment.
That's right. Who wants to show up to something and they don't have the right stuff to do it? or they don't have the right tools to do the job, or the right equipment in play. Maintaining your equipment is very important. So, you know, some people after they hit a shot, they usually have a wet rag on their bag and they'll clean it off, removing all the mud or dirt that's on it, and then they put it back in the bag. Why would they want to remove the mud or dirt on their club? Yes?
To ruin the strike force.
Absolutely. If you have dirt, mud, or anything caught in your club, and you go to hit, it can give you a different shot than you intended to have, which can now change the entire game. So it's always good to maintain clubs, keep them clean. Some people have brushes on their bags so they can get into those grooves, because as you will learn later on in golf, grooves makes a difference with spins.
Yeah.
And being able to hit a shot and land it somewhere for it to come back in a different direction or land or end in a different spot. So maintaining your clubs is very, very important. You know, if you don't maintain your clubs, you don't know what's going on over here. You might go out on a golf course and you might hit a shot and it may break. Or it may fly out of your hands because your grip on your club is so old and worn and you haven't really maintained it. You haven't changed your grip or cleaned it. It can fly out of your hands, which can now become a potential hazard to someone who is standing next to you or in front of you or even behind you. I've seen people swing their clubs and it fall out of their hands and it goes behind them, right? So this is what we mean by maintaining.
Kim said because it's expensive as well.
And it is very expensive as well. Kim, thanks Kim. What is this?
A glove.
A glove. A golf glove, right?
Yes.
What hand does it go on?
The opposite hand that you use to the opposite hand which you are currently using to play golf. Like if you're left-handed, you would put the glove on your right hand, and if you're right-handed, you would put it on your left hand.
Why? That's weird, right? Why don't we just wear two gloves?
So the grip on your hand could be even. You could have like a even one with the grip on one results.
Right? Okay, good. Who else back there? Why did we wear only one glove? Any idea? Camille.
I did too.
You wear two, okay. Can you wear two?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. I think we only wear one because it's cool. I think it just makes you look cool. Yeah, that's all. Now, when you wear one glove, so if, like you were saying, if you're a right-hander, which I am, the glove will go on my left hand. When you get more and more into golf, this hand, you just want this to stay here and not do anything, not move at all, right? So this is your point of contact. And if you don't have a good grip of this, the club can slip out of your hand or turn in your hand as you're swinging, thus altering your contact and your impact of that ball and the direction of where it's going to end up. This hand does a different thing from this hand, but we're not going to get into that today. But having that one glove gives you a little more grip, Velcro on that, so that your club's not going to go anywhere on it. But you can wear two gloves. Then there's weather gloves. Some people wear gloves for rainy, some people wear different gloves for winter time, which we don't have here. Some people play without gloves. Can you play without gloves? Yeah, you can. Some people will tee off on the tee box with their gloves, and then when they get to the green and they're about to putt, they take their glove off because they feel a little more confident or in control of their swing without the glove, so they can do that. So you can either play with the glove, without a glove, with one glove, with two gloves. I still think it looks cool, but it does serve a very, very important part. Plus, for those of us who have been playing golf for a little while, I'm going to get to you 1 second. For those of us who have been playing golf for a little while or play golf regularly, you get blisters and corns on your fingers, on your hands. The glove does protect you from that at some point. Rambo.
Yeah. So as we're talking of gloves, and we're talking etiquette, I just want to advise people, proper etiquette is not waiting till you reach on the tee box and you know decide to put on gloves and play. That is delaying the pace of play. Golf has improved to the point where pace of play is part and parcel of the language of the game now. Pace of play is very important. So you need to consider other players and the entire tournament by not just waiting when you reach on the tee box to now be putting on gloves and all that. And when you're ready to putt, then you take it out. Then 3 people putting before you, and you cannot take out the gloves all the time. So I thought that mentioned.
Thank you for that. That's a very good point. Basically what he's saying is, and we discussed this earlier, pace of play being respectful of who's playing with you and who's playing behind you. When you're approaching your shot, it's good practice and etiquette to be ready for your shot when it's your turn and not delay the pace of play, because what that potentially can do is delay the pace of play for the guys behind you and yourself, and also break your concentration. So when you get there and it's your turn, be ready to play your shot within a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, the piece of etiquette regarding the golf also. Don't remove the golf and let the vehicle make noise when the partner is...
Distraction, right? So what he's saying is, it has happened, and I don't think any of us would do that intentionally. So if my buddy here was going to putt, and I was standing not too far from you, and you were about to putt, and I did this, that's a distraction. That's not cool. We don't do stuff like that. If you do need to take your glove off, you wait till they either finish putt or they walk away, and then you remove it. Because simple things like noise can be very, very distracting when playing golf. Any other questions on golf appearance, gear, maintenance, etiquette? Any questions on this before we move on to the next slide? See, my buddy Rambo already jumped ahead. He knew what was happening. So again, we talked about the importance of pace of play. Maintaining a steady pace of play is essential to golf to enhance your experience, right? Who here has ever been to like a theme park? Like a Great Adventures or Carnival where there's a Ferris wheel and race cars and all these? Who's been there? I go there all the time, right? You know when you go there, you have to join a line, and you gotta wait, and you wait, and there's somebody in front of you and they didn't move up. What happens? It alters the pace of that line moving. So somebody might say, hey, move up, that kind of thing, right? So make sure you maintain a pace of play for everyone so that the game can flow smoothly. Be ready for your turn. Rambo was just saying, when it's your turn, be ready. Make sure you know what club you're gonna use. Make sure you have your glove on if you're gonna use your glove. Make sure you already have your ball in hand and you're ready. You looked at your line, you looked at your distance. Be ready to play so that it'll ensure that everything goes smoothly. Mindful of timing, again, simple delays. How long are you allowed to look for a ball?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. What happens after 3 minutes?
Penalty.
Penalty, you drop another ball and you keep going, right? Maintaining this is all part of ensuring that we're exhibiting the proper etiquette in golf. Sure.
Right? So, as beginners and as youth, right? There will come a point in time when you're playing that you will be faced with rules where you have to play a shot within a prescribed time. The standard time in tournaments is 40 seconds for the first person who is going to play, after which the time successively decreases for each player by seconds. So whilst the first player may have 40 seconds in which the player shot, the person who plays next will now only have 30 seconds or 25 seconds, as the case may be. And then the third player will have less time. Everybody does not have the luxury of the same amount of time, which definitely speaks to the fact that each person should be ready to play, right? So remember that. You're going to be faced, and if you don't get it, you're going to hear terminologies like you're on the clock. Next time you do it, if it takes too long, and there will be referees with stopwatches taking the time on a stopwatch to see how long you take to play your shot. That's very important for piece of it.
No, I agree. Thank you very, very much. So many rules in golf. How are we going to remember all these rules, huh? It'll come naturally as you keep playing and growing into the sport. So we talked a little bit about a divot. Who remembers what a divot is? Yep.
A divot is when you take a shot and you lose concentration or hand-eye coordination and you miscalculate like how you're going to hit the ball and you accidentally dig too deep and it causes a hole in the ground.
Yeah, basically walk with your gardening tools when you're on the golf course. So you can repair these holes and divots, even ball marks. You know what a ball mark is? So if you hit your ball and the condition is damp or wet or soggy, and your ball goes into a hole or creates an indent in the green, when you go to remove that ball, what you're supposed to do is use a tool. It's called a ball marker repair. And you remove your ball, and then you use this. It looks a little bit like a fork, and you poke at it, around it, and now you're trying to resurface that dent. And then you can either take a golf club, which most people will use because it's flat, and then you pat it down to try to make that back as original as it was as possible, right? So repairing all these, repairing the course is very, very important to the etiquette of the course. What happens if we didn't repair that divot on the green?
It would be very inconsiderate to the other people that playing behind you.
Absolutely, very inconsiderate to the others who are playing. Imagine if you had to go and play the next green and there was a ball mark in front of where you have to play. What do you think you'd do? So if you're on the next green and your ball lands and there's a divot in your line of putting, what can we do with that divot?
Take the ball marker that looks, the part of the ball marker that looks like a fork, place it down, remove it, and pat it down with the putter.
Do we just, you heard what he said? He says we will repair it. But I didn't make that. Why do I have to repair it?
Does it affect your shots?
It'll affect my shot? Why else? Very good answer. Why else?
For the upcoming golfers.
For other upcoming golfers, why else? It's not there. Etiquette. That's all it is, etiquette. You want to play on a course that is good for you and for others who are playing, right? So it's etiquette. You always want to do the right thing. Even though nobody's looking, even though you didn't do it, you want to make sure that you repair that divot. And it happens. Sometimes players do forget. It happens. Sometimes players just don't do it because they don't know the right etiquette or the rule. Maybe they assume that the course maintenance team is going to come tomorrow and fix it, which does happen, but that's not the right etiquette. So that's very, very important that you have your tools in your golf bag or in your pocket. Smoothing ball marks. Go quick. Very good. Yes. We talked about the impact of focus on other players, excessive noise, things like
Strapping off your glove, your phone ringing.
Velcro on your glove, your phone ringing,
Dropping something.
Sometimes when you put your club back in your bag and it hits the other club, distractions. Importance of golf etiquette. A quiet golf environment will be better for all of us, especially when it comes to concentration, being able to hit the best possible shot, hand and eye coordination on impact with that ball. And source of noise is conversations. You just can't have a conversation when your buddy's playing. Save that for another time or when you're walking. Here's a good one. Letting faster groups play through. Go ahead. You want to do? I'll let you do the slide. Go ahead.
If better players are coming up before you and you notice that you are green hole, you should let them go ahead of you because you know you will take greater time.
Okay, very good. Letting faster groups play through. They don't necessarily have to be better. It could be a situation where you spend some time looking for your ball, 3 minutes, and my ball, 3 minutes. So now you're slowing down the group behind and you can see them right behind you. In golf, the etiquette rule is you can now allow them to play through you, to not hold them up, which now gives you enough time to find your ball. How does that happen? Who knows how does that happen? Do we send them a text message? You guys can go ahead. Do we wait for somebody to come with a green and a red sign that says go, stop? How does it happen?
You tell them you can move ahead.
Right.
By singing a hand signal or something.
You signal them, right? So if 4 of us are playing and there's a group behind and we hold them up, you signal to them, you guys can play through, and then what do you do after you tell them to play through?
After you tell them to play through, you could continue looking for your ball and then start back playing normally while they
But do we stand where we are?
No.
What do?
You continue looking for your ball.
What you want to do is move to the side. So the furthest point away from where their line of trajectory is, so that way you're calling them, hey guys, you can go through, play ahead, and you stand away and you're watching them so that in case none of their balls or shots come in your area, you're in a safe area, you're in a safe zone. I mean,
So if I step to the side, right?
yes?
And I'm looking for my ball in the rough. Call the group through. Do I continue looking for my ball past the 3 minutes? And if I find my ball, is it right or wrong?
That's a good question. I'm going to defer to my friend Rock or Rambo. The question is, if I've already used my 3 minutes of looking for my ball, which is now delaying the group behind me, and I call that group through, does my clock reset? Do I get another 3 minutes to look for my ball, or have I now expired my 3 minutes? Very good question. I don't know the actual ruling on that, but I'm pretty sure there's a rule on that. But what I will tell you is, at that point where the other group is now proceeding to pass you and go in front of you, the additional time that until it is now safe again to proceed and hit your next shot.
So there's a loophole in that rule.
I don't know. I don't know the actual rule. I have to look that up.
No, there's no rule. The ball is lost, but it's not found within 2 minutes.
So it's up on the owner, say your group now to tell you that you have to go back. Because if I continue looking at it, then I say, look, I find the ball while these players go through, then I proceed to play my ball.
Once you had passed,
No.
after you started looking at your ball, once you make that pass,
We'll get a further clarification on that. We'll get a further clarification. So again, when you're allowing another group to go through because you're holding them up, you stand aside in a safe area so that the other group can hit safely and then move forward. And then when they have now proceeded in a fair and safe distance, then you would continue to play. We're going to cover a couple more safety tips and considerations. Always check that no players are on your line of shot to prevent any accidents. Again, it has happened. Sometimes you may hit a shot and it may not go where you want it to go. So you always have to be aware of what's around you. Who has ever gotten hit by a golf ball? Yeah, I got hit by a golf ball a couple months ago playing in a tournament. So I was not following proper golf etiquette and I was not aware of my surroundings. Retrieving balls safely. Making sure nobody else is around you. And then we're going to talk a little bit about this one. Who can say that word? What word is that?
Four.
For. What does for mean? What does for mean? For means when you ask someone to move out of the way. Do you really ask them? You shout. You yell. Are we allowed to shout and yell on the course? Is that not a distraction though?
I would consider it.
Because when you hit the ball, it could go in the direction you didn't want to, and it could have players there that the ball is headed straight in their direction, and in that case you will most likely have to see it.
Right. Very good answer. If you hit a ball or someone strikes a ball and the ball is coming in your direction, the word that we use is for, and we actually yell. We say, for! Or we say something like for left or for right to give them a little more understanding of where the ball is coming from or who's in the area that they can be harmed. Why don't we just say move?
They go to it up.
Or why don't we just say run or duck? Sometimes we say, watch your head. Why don't we say stuff like that? Well, because in golf we have rules and we've developed our own language and etiquette, and this is the universal word for look out, be careful, you might be in harm's way. Even though somebody else might be teeing off and you yell for, you are still doing the right thing. You are still doing the right thing. So whenever you see somebody hit a ball, it could be yourself. If I hit a ball and the ball is going to go to Steve and I didn't intend for it to go to Steve, it's my job to yell for. Can other people yell for?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're with me or they see that Steve might be in harm's way, they can yell for as well. So there's no rule against who can yell and cannot yell for. It's just to warn somebody that they may be in danger of an object, a ball, a club, a golf cart, anything that's coming their way. I'm going to touch on golf carts a little bit. There are a few golf courses in Trinidad and Tobago that have golf carts. Even the golf cart, there are rules. You have to be on the cart path. You have to park a certain distance away from greens and tee boxes. You have to park a certain distance away from hazardous areas like water, bunkers, and ponds. You cannot drive in a bunker with a golf cart. You cannot drive in rough with a golf cart. If the weather conditions are wet, muggy, damp, or muddy, the course marshal may say, hey, 90 degree rule today, meaning you're only allowed to drive on the cart path for that hole, and then when you get to where your ball is here, then you take 90 degrees to go to it. They may even say cart path only. You have to get out of the cart and walk to your ball, play, and then walk back to your cart. So there's a lot of rules, obviously practicing safety, driving, following the guidelines, knowing when to speed, not when to speed. There's so many rules with golf cart, and being obviously respectful to others. We talked about this as well, safety of our players, the importance of being alert of what's around you, what's above you, what's coming behind you. Safety for all other players, making sure that everybody enjoys their experience and nobody gets hurt. Navigating the course when moving around the course, being aware of your surrounding helps you avoid accidents and any incidents, and increases your overall experience for that day. So in conclusion, we're just going to cover 3 big bullet points, and then we'll have some questions afterwards. The importance of golf etiquette. Understanding and following golf etiquette is crucial for beginners to ensure respectful environment on the course. It's not just important for beginners, for juniors. It's important for everyone, whether you're an experienced golfer or a brand new golfer, or you've only been playing for a short time. We all have to follow the same rules. We are all expected to be very, very punctual. We're expected to follow the guidelines with regards to penalties and strokes, with regards to how many clubs, dress code, attendance and time of arrival. It applies to everyone, not just beginners and experienced golfers. Be respectful to not just your fellow players, but be respectful for those who are playing behind you, in front of you, and be respectful to your golf course. Be respectful to your golf clubs. Maintain the integrity of that. Respecting fellow players, it enhances the experience for everyone, and enhancing the golfing experience, adhering to all the rules. Like I said, today was just an introductory to basic rules. Like there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rules. Amir brought up some good points, but I didn't want to get too deep into some of these rules because we're just touching the surface about golf. But when you get out there and you start learning to play, or you're being coached, or you're following along and you learn the rules, and you're watching videos of other golfers or training material, then you'll get to know more and more of these rules. So, any questions so far on anything at all for our session today? Somebody's got to have questions.
Who was the person that scored the 2 hole in ones?
Who was the person that, I don't know, is it on your worksheet? Let's see. I was going to ask that question. Let me see if you remember. Who was it?
Barry Ferdinand.
Barry Ferdinand. All right, so you want to do the Q&A. All right, what's your next question?
That's it.
That's it? Who else has another question?
You scream 4
If you scream 4,
and the person moves into the place of the one they get hit. Is
Uh-huh.
it technically your fault still?
good question. If you yell 4 and it was probably too late, or the person that you were trying to warn actually stepped into the line of the ball and it did get hit, whose fault is it? It's not really anybody's fault. The person who did hit the ball did what was right and yelled 4. It may not have been in time. Sometimes when you yell 4 and I'm the one in danger and I look up and the sun's in my eye, I don't know which way to go. That's why sometimes we'll say we'll yell 4 left or 4 right. It's not really, we're not blaming anyone. We're actually trying to prevent it by yelling 4. And in a situation where somebody does get hurt or injured, golf etiquette, you want to run to that person or go to that person and make sure they're okay and contact the emergency official or if they need to be taken off the golf course because they were badly injured, you know, we have to attend to that. We don't just continue playing golf, obviously.
So they have to pay their medical bill?
You don't have to pay their medical bills. I hope not. Good question, though. Yes?
I think it's to discuss what is the action when you're here for. Of a person who could possibly be.
Good. So he's volunteering to show us the action of what happens when you yell for. So my good friend's going to come up front, and I'm going to yell for, and you're going to see what he does.
He take it on, he can
So Camille's on the tee box, and she's teeing off.
Yeah.
And my buddy Vinud and I are playing, right? So Camille's teeing off, and Vinud and I are over here. Just come a little more on the camera here, right? And we're over here. We're talking about the shot, whatever. And
You yell for before you swing.
you guys see what we're doing? We try to make ourselves as small as possible, as quickly as possible, and protect your head first would be the best thing to do, because if you get hit in your head, that could be a terrible injury. Not that anywhere else, but so you saw what Benito and I did. When she yelled for, the very first thing we did was we dropped down and we made ourselves very, very small.
So the kind of time my kid said some of his friends were playing golf on the beach, and when one of his friends hit the golf ball, it hit his eye, one of his friend's eye, and right now his friend's eye is gone. They have to remove him.
I'm sorry to hear that. Golf is dangerous. You have to be careful. Also, we shouldn't be playing golf on a beach.
Exactly.
And also to add to that for is sometimes other people are out of position in the wrong place on another fairway and you
That's-
need to tell them that you are hitting or
That's a good point. And again, when we get further into beginning and beyond from here, there may be somebody walking in your way that's not playing that hole. So let's say I'm playing number one and someone hit their ball into your fairway because their shot went that direction. You can yell for to warn them that they are in your line of shot so that they can walk away, even though they may not be playing that particular hole. Very, very good. Yes?
So what's the difference for left or for right? What difference?
It just gives someone a little more of a navigation as to where that ball is coming from or who's on. So in golf, we have this navigation. So if I'm walking down number one and the green is there and I'm walking and I'm on this side, that means I'm on the left side of the green. And if somebody teed off and the ball is coming here, they would say for left. Meaning whoever hit that ball, the direction of that ball is going towards the left of that fairway. If they had yelled for right and I was on the left, I'd be like, I'm okay, no problem. But you want to yell it in the direction of where you're hitting that ball. And again, golfers, we have a built-in navigation as to know where we're playing to know which side is left or right. Very good question.
What happens if the ball splice?
Spliced. Meaning when
The balls go left and it goes in the direction that you don't want to go. That you don't want it to go.
well, it depends on if you're a right-hander or a left-handed golfer. So left for a right-hander could be a hook. Right could be a slice. For a left-hander, it'll be opposite. Again, in that situation, if your ball is going there and somebody's in that direction or in that area, you yell for. And if the ball does go in an area that is a penalty area beyond the stakes or out of bound, then you follow the golf rule according to what you're supposed to do. You drop another ball, you take a stroke, or you go back to the tee box or your stroking distance. All right? Any other questions? Any comments, any feedback, anything for us? Well, I'm going to hand it back over to Camille, who I believe is going to close off with these guys. But I appreciate you guys and girls being here with us today. Hopefully you learned something new, and maybe it's the start of a new sport for you and your parents as well. Thank you all very, very much.
Hi everyone, I'd like to thank everyone who joined us physically and online. It was a great session. The online video is going to be there all the time. So for Saturday, in fact you don't really need to join on Saturday online, you can join anytime. So Saturday, we are going to be here physically. So if you liked what you saw online and you can take a plane and come here, fine. We know we have some Tobago people. Otherwise, join here or go and look at the videos. Even for you all, you can go back and look at the videos. And again, thanks the online.
What time on Saturday is that?
3 p.m.
3 p.m. on Saturday.